I have cut out some of the stuff that I felt it was irrelevant to us.
It's time for On Point, where we speak to experts to delve deeper into some of the key issues in the spotlight right now. As we just saw at one of the most recognized music awards in the US, K-pop stars took home awards.
But that's not to say that BTS didn't shine as usual, as the group took the Group of the Year awards for the 4th consecutive year. So let's break that down and what happened yesterday with Bernie Cho, the president of DFSB Collective, who joins us in studio today. Very good morning to you.
A very good morning as well.
Right, so we heard some very exciting news regarding the MTV Awards. And what is the most important point that judges consider when awarding these prize awards?
Well, for full disclosure, in a past life, and I have to say last century, I worked at MTV. So I was very involved with the quote-unquote process. Even to this day, it's a mystery in terms of how the nominees are selected by MTV executives. It's a lot of conversations with record label executives and industry people.
The point that he made was that these executives meeting with the VMAs and discussing. And what are they discussing? We don't know, but it was interesting that he made that point. But he didn't delve into it, I think for reasons, but it says a lot.
But what is certain is since the beginning of the MTV Video Music Awards, also known as the VMAs, from 1984 to 2006, it was selected by, like you mentioned, a panel, a jury of judges. But starting from 2006, about 20 plus of the general categories went wide open to fan voting, public voting. And so for about a month, right before the Video Music Awards, fans could go online and vote for their favorite artists in about 20 plus categories. Some of the technical categories, I don't think fans really know what to vote for or who to vote for, but for the 20 plus general categories, it's all fan driven and it's all fan voted.
Well, and that speaks volumes about the award itself. And BTS just took their 4th consecutive Group of the Year award. How do you take this?
To get a nomination at the MTV VMAs in and of itself is an honor.
So this part where he says that just to get a nomination, you should be kind of like grateful. I mean, it's like, why are you gonna nominate me if you're gonna rig the outcome of the nomination? Play a fair game.
Honor, and for that alone, any artist should sleep well at night. I mean, I know for me, I remembered about 20 plus years ago, Korean music artists were lucky if they got 4-second mention on air at the MTV Video Music Awards. If they picked up a trophy, it was often backstage, given by an MTV executive, and it was never on air, and you never saw it on camera. Now fast forward to 2022, we now have Korean music artists, K-pop, not just stars but superstars, getting up to 4 nominations or more in 4 or more different categories, or doing live performances for 4+ minutes. And so K-pop in the Korean music industry has come a long way at this very prestigious music award show.
And while Blackpink was very much in the spotlight, they won a prize in the new category, the Best Metaverse Performance. And member Lisa, she also scooped up an award for the Best K-pop as well. So what do you think really attributed to the band's recent success?
Well, if we break down that question into 2, because that's quite a bit all at once, especially this early in the morning. The Best Metaverse Performance category is really interesting because I think it really should have been reclassified as Best Metaverse Performances by Artists from HYBE. 4 of the 6 nominees were actually HYBE or HYBE-related artists. You had BTS, Blackpink is YG, but HYBE is a major shareholder of YG, so I throw them in there. And then you had Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande. So an impressive, results from HYBE and HYBE-related artists. And then in terms of, and it was really interesting because that particular performance, Blackpink, the virtual, that was done on PUBG, and for older fans out there, PUBG is not a place where you go grab a beer. It's Players Unknown Battleground.
Disappointing.
So for gamers out there, this show literally just happened a few weeks ago.
And they got nominated, so what's that?
Like this particular Metaverse concert happened right when the voting started. So for them to win on such short notice was very impressive. And then the second question related to Lisa winning the best K-pop category actually really shouldn't come as a surprise. I mean, we all talk about how big BTS is and Blackpink is, but we need to remind ourselves the most popular K-pop idol right now on social media, on Instagram, is Lisa. Her followers on Instagram is 2x. She has 2 times more followers on Instagram than certain individual members of BTS. And so her social media power and
I just want to say that congratulations to her, but I think his argument is flawed. Because if you think about it, Lisa has 80 million followers, but obviously all of Blackpink's supporters voted for her to win this award. But in the same way, all of BTS supporters voted for Jungkook and Charlie Puth to get this award as well. And if you calculate all of the accounts on Instagram for BTS, it comes out to 290 million. And if you add Charlie Puth's account, it just comes over 300 million. If you calculate all of Lisa's accounts for Blackpink, theirs comes just under 270 million. So we still had more people voting if you go by followers and social media. So I don't know. If that's the only argument you have for her winning, then well, congratulations to her.
if you just translate that into their ability to vote online, it's not a surprise. And then also we have to remember that even though Lisa is of Blackpink, she was one of the most successful solo artists in the world last year with that single, La Lisa, and it had the Beast track Money. And so just based on that alone, it really wasn't a surprise to a lot of industry people that that particular song, and more importantly, that particular video came out on top.
Wow. And we want to move to 17 now. It's well, they aren't up and coming, but for many of people who are not following the K-pop scene may have heard them for the first time as they took home some awards as well. Now, will they be able to maybe replace, I don't know about replace, but kind of fill the void of BTS's absence?
Wow, that's a tough question. I mean, I think we have to remind ourselves that BTS, their success is generational. And so for any band to be compared with BTS, I think honestly is unfair.
Yes, he has a point. BTS is generational, so they are not gonna go anywhere. Whichever group is gonna come up, they will not be able to replace BTS. It's impossible. And yes, I want other groups, like I'm loving New Jeans because they just bringing something new to the scene. And yes, other groups must rise, but they must rise within themselves, not to replace BTS, because nobody will really be able to replace BTS. And I like the fact that he said that it's only BTS will most likely replace themselves. That's what we do on the charts in any case. So each member will most probably just replace what the first member has done. So it's like J-Hope has released his music, so the next member will replace J-Hope in a sense, but not replace. We'll just replace J-Hope on the chart as hitting #1 or whatever. So only BTS can replace themselves. But I don't like the fact that they're always trying to play other groups up against BTS, because each individual needs to work hard to basically get where BTS are and what they've achieved. And it's not an easy task. So currently now, I am loving New Jeans and I love what they're doing, and I believe that they will rise to the same level that their predecessors have set before them.
Granted, they're on the same label and management as BTS, but the reality is I think 17 might be the biggest K-pop boy band in the world that we don't know about or talk about enough. Last year, they had 2 albums among the top 10 best-selling albums in the world. CDs. And just this year alone, they've already had 2 albums debut in the Billboard 200 in the top 10. And right now, they're currently on a world tour selling out arenas. And so for 17 to be nominated, but more importantly, win in the categories they did, isn't a surprise. And I think we're going to likely see more of it. But moving forward, I think that with BTS currently on hiatus, we're going to likely see, I think, not one band fill that gap, but I think we're going to see many artists, be it boy bands, girl bands, or solo acts, fill in that very large gap. And again, the BTS members themselves are doing solo gigs and solo projects right now, so they might end up filling for themselves as well.